Hey guys, welcome to the Staff Mirage Guide. This video is going to help those people who don't fully understand the class, how it deals damage, where the boons come from, or simply struggle with managing the dodges. Hopefully, by the end of this video, and some practice on the golem, you'll be more than confident on the class, as it's very simple once you get the hang of it. First, we'll take a quick look at the gear for the class. As of the recording of this guide, this is the current build shown on Snowcrows. For the specific ritualist pieces, you don't need to worry too much, just have around 10% boon duration and you'll be set. You can pause the video now or check the link in the description if you need to copy this. Quickly moving on to the traits for the Staff Mirage, you can see we run Chaos, Dueling and Mirage. The build has many strong traits which I'll quickly cover just so you know what they do. Metaphysical Rejuvenation will grant you regeneration when struck below 75% health. Not amazing, but it will be helpful for regeneration uptime, which is important for the Mirage as we'll come to see. Lesser Chaos Storm will cause you to place an ethereal combo field which dazes and applies boons and conditions whenever you use False Oasis. While this isn't going to be dealing a massive amount of damage itself, it can allow for very strong team play with its combo field. Illusionary Membrane is one of the big traits for Chaos. It gives you a 10% condition damage buff while you have regeneration. Chaotic Potency gives you a massive 240 points of condition damage and reduces the recharge of your staff skills by 20%. Chaotic Persistence gives you 250 expertise and concentration while you have regeneration. If you don't know the conversion for these stats, 15 points is 1% duration. This means that while you have regeneration, your condition and boon duration are both increased by a massive 16.66%. Bountiful Disillusionment grants stability and a specific boon on Shattering. The major reason to take this trait is for the extra Vigor on Cry of Frustration. Critical Infusion in Dueling will grant you Vigor on Crit. This trait will help massively with Vigor uptime. Phantasmal Fury will grant your Phantasm's Fury. This is important as it relates to our next trait. Sharper Images will cause your illusions to apply bleeding on Crit. This includes both clones and phantasms. Blinding Dissipation will cause Cry of Frustration to also blind your foe. This is a very powerful effect as it combos with the trait further down the line. Master Fencer will grant Fury to you and your allies when you critically hit. With the staff also giving Fury on auto attack, this means that you can generate large amounts of Fury for your subgroup. Ineptitude will cause all interrupts on enemies to blind, and all applications of blind to also inflict 2 stacks of confusion. This is an extremely strong trait as there is a lot of blinds and interrupts within Staff Mirage's kit. Mirage Cloak is the main source of your damage, and where your Alacrity and Might generation will come from. When you dodge with the staff, you will gain access to Chaos Vortex, which will deal Torment, Confusion and Bleeding damage to your foe, as well as apply Alacrity and 8 stacks of Might within an area around you. Self-Deception will spawn another clone after you use a Deception skill, so long as you already have an existing clone. This will be your main source of clone generation on Staff Mirage. Nomad's Endurance will cause Shatter skills to apply Vigor, and Vigor will grant you an extra 150 condition damage. Desert Distortion will cause all clones shattered by Distortion to become Mirage Mirrors. It will also grant you access to ambush skills when you grant yourself Distortion. Speed of Sand will increase your movement speed while in Mirage Cloak by 66%, similar to dodging. Infinite Horizon will cause all clones to gain Mirage Cloak when you gain Mirage Cloak. It's an extremely powerful trait as it allows your clones' damage output to be vastly increased due to them also having access to ambush skills. Now that the traits are out of the way, let's talk about the rotation for Mirage, which there isn't one. There is an opener for Mirage which I will cover, as well as an alternative version if your APM is not that high, but for the rest of the rotation, it can be thought of like short skill combos with autos and dodges filling in the gaps. Moving on to the opener for Staff Mirage, you'll want to start with Phantasmal Warlock into Chaos Armor and Phase Retreat. You'll then cast Crystal Sands and jaunt back to the boss on top of the mirror you just created with Crystal Sands. After the ambush skill, you will want to auto attack a couple times to allow your clones to finish their ambush. Then it's Cry of Frustration into False Oasis and Jaunt. This opener needs to be very fast as after you shatter, you will not be granted any clones from your deception skills unless you have existing clones, which will be coming from the initial Phantasmal Warlock cast. You can see the amount of time available in this demonstration. If you aren't confident in your ability to do the Warlock opening, there is a more simple but less bursty option available. For this opener, you'll start with Phase Retreat, then Crystal Sands and jaunt back in. Cast Chaos Armor and then after the ambush, use Chaos Storm, auto attack and use both of your dodges for further ambushes. After the second ambush, your Phase Retreat will be off cooldown. Now your weapon swap, Cry of Frustration, into Phase Retreat, False Oasis and jaunt back in. After the openers, the main points to remember are, you want to use Chaos Vortex in some capacity every few seconds, with some auto attacks in between to allow the clones to finish their ambush attack since they don't have quickness. You want to use F2 off cooldown, followed up by Phase Retreat, False Oasis and Jawn. This will instantly generate you 3 clones after shattering. After using False Oasis, there's a short delay before the Mirage Mirror is spawned. This delay is actually long enough for you to fit an extra ambush attack using a dodge into the rotation. Crystal Sands and Chaos Armor can be used off cooldown. Chaos Storm can also be used off cooldown if CC is not required. You also want to weapon swap when below 50% endurance in order to get the maximum amount of endurance from the sigil. As Staff Mirage does not have a fixed rotation, it allows for the class to adapt to the fight very easily. Using Diversion to CC will sometimes be required, but quickly regaining your clones is key to playing Mirage well. There are a couple ways to reliably regain clones after using Diversion. The first is using Diversion into Phase Retreat, Crystal Sands and Jawn. This is the simplest way to regain your clones. Another way is to precast your Phantasmal Warlock a second or two before the CC, then use Diversion, gain the clones from Warlock into any Deception skill or Phase Retreat for the final clone. That's the basics of Mirage. As with all classes, experience is key, so get practicing and go do some raids on it. Staff Mirage is an extremely fun class to play and I hope that you guys will enjoy it as well.